Hi guys, welcome back to Nick's Reads. Thank you so much for watching. I wanted to film a more relaxed video today, chatting to you guys about all of the books I am currently reading. I feel like I've been a bit all over the place in the last month reading wise because I've been on vacation for so long, and then right after I actually had to fly out again for work, which was very cool, but I feel like it's been a while since I picked up a book. Reading is supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to ever feel guilty about reading something or not reading something, but I would lie if I said there aren't times where I feel like I'm falling behind. Also, I recently moved in with my partner, which means that I have less alone time now, and I'm gonna see how I will balance out quality time but also just sitting there and reading on my own. Was that a change any of you ever went through with your reading habits, going from living alone to living with someone else? I'm curious, let me know if so. Anyways, let's start with the two books that I have been reading for the longest time. It's been almost a year. Dune by Frank Herbert. Listen, I did pick this up on my latest flight back, okay? And I was reminded how easy to read this is technically. I am at past the halfway point. Mind you that the first half I read in pretty much 2 sittings last September when I was on a plane. But since then, I just never felt motivated to pick it up. I'm pretty sure the trailer's out for the second movie. I think I've seen it floating around. I don't know when the release date is, but let's hope that I can finish this before the movie comes out. But either way, once I finish this, I don't think that I'm gonna pick up the rest of the book series just by judging how long it's taking me to finish this one. Clearly, it is a good book series, but it's just not clicking with me. Should I have DNF'd this a while ago? Maybe, but I am curious enough to just finish it. There is just a stubbornness inside me that tells me, come on, you can do it. The other book that I've started end of last summer is Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is part of my classics challenge. I'm not too worried about that challenge because I have since then read other classics from that list. It's just that I haven't finished this one yet. This one, I may be a quarter into it, and actually my partner picked this up for our vacation and he managed to read it within, I think, a week or two. And he enjoyed it, so that motivated me to get back into this. This is the next classic that I'm gonna finish. Unlike Dune, there's no particular reason that I didn't finish it yet. It's just because with classics, I tend to sometimes take breaks and then read contemporary fiction in between because that usually I read much faster. It's not that I'm disinterested in picking this up. There was just other books in between that I prioritized. And so far, I actually do like it. So this is gonna be finished soon. Then I am almost halfway through Stieg Larsson's Verblendung. This is the German translation from Swedish. In English, it's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I, in fact, broke this book's back the other week when I brought it to the park with me. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like pages dislodged in there. Okay, let's put this back together. I bought the entire trilogy for €2.76 used. I committed or had the courage to commit to the entire trilogy because this is such a well-loved, extremely popular thriller trilogy with I think Daniel Craig as the main character in the film version. And I have to say, this is not how I pictured this book at all. I thought this is gonna be a fast-paced thriller. That's why I wasn't scared that this is like 600 pages. But I'm at page 300 and almost nothing has happened yet. Nothing notable. This is such a slow book, which I didn't expect. The premise of this book is that decades and decades ago, a young girl from a wealthy family gets lost She is either missing, still missing, dead, murdered, there was an accident. Nobody knows. Nobody ever knew what happened to this girl. And this wealthy patriarch now hires a journalist to investigate this case. It has elements of a closed circle mystery because at the time of the disappearance, people who lived on that island didn't have a way of going back on the mainland. So there is a limited amount of suspects or people who could have witnessed what happened to that girl. So this wealthy patriarch, Henrik Wanger, reaches out to this journalist through his lawyer, Michael Blomqvist, to try to figure out what happens. And right from the start, Blomqvist is saying, I can try, but there's no way I'm gonna figure this out. And we're at page 300 and he's still of that same opinion. I mean, obviously, at some point he's gonna figure something out because otherwise, why is there a book? But we're at half and he's still saying, nope, there's no way I'm gonna figure something out, but you know what? I'm just gonna do it for the money, whatever. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is the female characters in this book, man. I know this has been written in 2005 and the author has since passed away. So I say this with respect to his legacy, but the female characters are pretty much written from the perspective of a male gaze. Most of them, if not all of them, are either abused or there's always some kind of element of sexual objectification filled with prejudices of if this is the way a woman dresses, then that's the way she is, kind of thing. I'm clearly cutting the author some slack here because I'm still reading this book because this was published almost 20 years ago, but I mean, I don't think this holds up with the times. I do not know how this book ends. Please do not spoil me. I hope that at least the resolution of the case, finding out what happened to that girl, is satisfying. Then I have a nonfiction book that's been waiting on my nightstand for a while now. It's An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth by Chris Hadfield. So this was initially on my nonfiction November list, but I have put it on hold as I think the only book that I didn't read from my TBR, intentionally because I requested the audiobook version from my library. I believe this is pretty much life lessons in essay form from a former real-life astronaut. I think this could feel like a really nice podcast by listening to the audiobook. So I have requested it from the library and they confirmed that they're going to get it, but for some reason it's still not there. So I think I need to follow up with them. So this is on hold for now. What I'm reading from the library, and this one in ebook form, is The Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. It's part of the Celestial Kingdom duology. I'm pretty sure this is the first novel that this author has written. And this is a folklore fantasy story about the daughter of the moon goddess, how her existence is supposed to be hidden, but it so happens that she then has to move somewhere else to protect her identity, also try to go on a quest to save her mother, the moon goddess. The reason why I didn't finish this yet, and it's been a few weeks now, is because it bounced back. It was returned to the library after 3 weeks and I was just not done yet with the book. And since then I have to go back on the waiting list. So I'm waiting for that. I have mixed feelings about this book. I will for sure finish it. Not sure if I'm picking up the second book. It depends on the ending, how the story evolves, because right now it does feel very much like a debut novel. And this being a fantasy novel, it is very evident that the world building is just not as advanced as I am used to from other fantasy books. It is very isolated, and I do feel like the character work is a bit two-dimensional. I think the premise of it is a beautiful story and there's a lot of life lessons to be learned from it. I'm not sure if the execution is exactly how the author intended it to be. Another nonfiction from the library, I started listening to the audiobook Hunger, a Memoir of My Body by Roxane Gay. As the title suggests, this is about Roxane Gay and her body. It is a list of essays and I was very excited to pick this up. One reason being that a lot of booktubers that I follow say this is one of their favorite nonfictions, their favorite memoirs of all time. And also I have already listened to Roxane Gay's Bad Feminist and I gave that one I think 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed those essays very much. So I have high expectations for this author, and I'm sure I won't be let down. I just didn't have the time to finish the audiobook yet before it was returned to the library. The other nonfiction audiobook that I'm actually gonna listen to before Hunger, because I have it right now on my Libby app and it's due in 13 days, so I better hurry up, is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. Everybody and their mother has been talking about this book, so I put myself on the library waiting list. I think it took me months to get off, so now that I have it, I'm gonna prioritize it. It's only 6 hours long, and I assume that I'm gonna be listening to it on 1.5 speed at least, so this should be a quick one. It is probably not gonna be an easy read. If I understand correctly, this is gonna be very much an exploration of trauma and revisiting how her relationship was with her mom, which apparently was very difficult. And lastly, I have one book on my NetGalley shelf. So if you don't know, this is a website or an app that you can access as somebody who reviews books for ARCs, so advanced readers copies, so you can read books that haven't come out yet in exchange for an honest review. I have waiting for me The Whispers by Ashley Audrain. This book comes out June 20th, so soon, which is why I need to hurry up with this one to get my review out of there. I am vague on the premise of the story, which I like to do on purpose for certain books. So as far as I know, The Whispers is about a family whose child falls out of the window and is in a coma and is now between life or death. And it's looking at the life of that family, but also of people around it, including neighbors who all have their situations to deal with, probably all culminating to why the child falls out of the window in the first place. I'm expecting to give this at least 4 stars because I have read The Push by this author last year, which is also a domestic thriller where a mom is not sure if her child is evil. To put it that way. That was a really good one. It got a lot of reviews, it was on bestseller lists, and I was checking on NetGalley if this author is publishing something new, and The Whispers came up. If you want to see my review on this, make sure to follow me on Goodreads. That's where I publish all of the NetGalley reviews. And that is all the books that I'm currently reading right now, or that I have put on pause. Have you read any of these, and is there a book in here that you think I should read first because you've read it and it's amazing? Fingers crossed I'm gonna get into a better schedule with uploading videos. I feel like I'm always behind. I also feel like I don't have time to create more creative videos, but I'm gonna make plans to change that this year. So thank you to everybody who stayed subscribed to my channel. And if you haven't yet, please feel free to do so if you love bookish content. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.